Welcome back, everyone. I hope y'all have been enjoying the music so far. I know I have. There will be more soon, but for now, we get some time to sit down with the man himself, Andy Hanson. Andy, how are you feeling being on the show?
Oh, I love being on the show. You know, this is a really great thing y'all got here, and fantastic crew, if I do say so myself. And it's just a great opportunity to just share with the Valley my sounds.
Well, thank you very much. We do always love when an artist shows love for the production side. It's much less glamorous than the show.
Someone's got to make the lights blink.
You're exactly right. But thank you, and it is great having you on the show. How long have you been playing music, Andy?
Let's see. I've been music specifically since 6th grade. Basically, whenever you're introduced to a new instrument, it's time to get into band or orchestra or choir or whatever in middle school. And I've been part of music ever since then. I picked up the guitar briefly during my freshman year of college. And then really in the last 5 or 6 years, I've been really hitting the writing and recording and performing pretty hard.
Nice.
Yeah, really stretching that muscle of writing and rewriting again.
That's the process sometimes. That's just how it goes. Writing in general is a very, very different beast than just playing the instrument, right? So guitar isn't your first instrument then, because you mentioned picking that up much later. What was your first instrument?
My first instrument was tenor saxophone.
Tenor sax. That's a good choice.
It is a good choice.
Different skill set from string.
Very different skill set. It was my only choice at the moment because we had a family saxophone that I was voluntold I got to play. So but it ended up being for the better.
That's how it goes. So as I recall, you were on the show last year as part of the band Y Blue. How is it playing as a solo artist now?
There's a lot more. There's good and bad. I mean, with most things, but I wouldn't say good. I wouldn't say bad. I would say there's positives and less positives. As a solo artist, solo performer, I don't necessarily have to stay in time with anyone else. I can do my own time. I can be fluid in that, and I can switch it up on the fly if I want. If I want to, repeat a chorus or cut something out completely, I can do that. And I don't have to. I only have to communicate with myself. But then, if I miss it, then I have bigger worries than just if I'm missing communication with myself. But with the band, it is also kind of an interesting, unique thing that you don't get being a solo artist. There is that level of collaboration. There's a level of I don't know what to do with these chords. I don't know what to do with these notes, this melody, these set of lyrics. And you have other musicians who are equally invested in writing the song to its best potential, to the largest potential that it has. And you can really kind of make it a team effort to finish a song. Whereas as a solo artist, it's kind of, I don't know what doesn't sound good. Well, in a way I do, but it's quicker to figure out what works well and what doesn't if you're working with a team.
When you have access to a second, third, and fourth opinion.
Right, right.
Yeah, no, that's interesting though. Yeah, it does make sense that you can just change things on the fly when there's no drummer to cue.
No drummer to cue. No, I remember. If you don't mind me going back to last year when we were here, I remember we had
of course.
We had to tell our drummer to look, we can't hear you. You can't hear us. So whatever your time is, we are going to follow you. You are the master of this set of songs, and we will follow you whichever way we go, and for whatever that means. And it ended up being fantastic. But as a solo artist, it's just me, which is a scary but a good thing as well because it is just me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But you also get some flexibility and freedom in that.
Flexibility for sure. It also means we don't have to load up on mics for every instrument.
There is one mic and one guitar input, and that's it.
Yeah. Sometimes that's really all you need. Really all you need in life. One mic, one guitar input. Anyway.
It worked for Bob Dylan, so.
That's right, it did. Didn't quite work for Phil Spector.
No.
But then again, we don't really have the equipment for that.
That's true.
Anyway, you did mention earlier that you write all your own songs.
Yeah.
When did you start writing your own songs? What got you into that?
I've always been interested in writing my own music. I've never seen myself as a performer of other people's music. I can do it, and depending on the right song, I really, really enjoy that. I find music and writing and performing my own things, whether it's from within me or the things that I experience out in the world. I find writing, performing, and recording the things that I've written a whole lot more interesting to bring to the world. I think, whether or not the idea or the sentiment has been sung about or written about in other types of music, I at least have the naive thought at the beginning of, I'm the first person to ever write about this, and I am adding something to the world. And chances are I'm probably not adding anything different per se, but there is still my perspective that's adding something new to the world, and that really excites me.
That's exactly right. I mean, it is true that there are no original ideas left. Somebody has taken them all up already.
It's true.
But you still find a way to make it yours, And I do completely get it about really being the master of your own domain with writing your own songs.
Right.
It's not only that it's like a subject that you can connect with, but you know the ins and outs of the song better than anyone else does.
Right. I experience sometimes when I play with others, whether it's in Why Blue or some other people, sometimes it's almost a struggle in a way to bring a song that you've worked so very hard on, bring it to the group, and then you're trying to describe the emotion, you're trying to describe the feelings, and you're like, I don't know how else to describe this except playing it for you. That's where I put all the emotion and the thought processes.
Right.
I didn't necessarily put all the thought processes into explaining the song. I put it all into the song. So that's a it's a hit or miss if I bring a song to a group of people and I'm like, this is what the song is about. I'm like, sometimes it's just you got to hear the song, and sometimes that's all you need though.
Yeah, no, I get that completely.
Yeah.
It's like that one quote goes, like talking about music is like dancing about architecture.
At some point, you just got to build.
Yeah, it really is its own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you have a typical process that you go through for writing your own song, or does it just kind of come naturally?
I guess it's kind of the common part of it is the kind of like the common response. It's a little bit of both, but I really find that in the past few years, I've really been trying to stick with my initial idea. Not thinking about it too difficult or too much, making it too difficult on me. I've really tried in the past writing. I have this idea and it's not really working, but I try to force it, and that's really hard. And sometimes you'll come up with a good song, but other times you'll come up with a song that it's like, that's fine. And yeah. I don't necessarily want to write and sing and perform fine songs. I want to perform songs that inspire me and hopefully connect with others and inspire them in whatever way it connects to them. So I guess, generally it does come, it's just like a spark, an idea just popped in my head, or I'm driving down the road and I see, a bumper sticker or someone doing something funky, I don't know. And that, whether or not it's exactly that experience I see, I write about, but sometimes that reminds me of something that I've experienced in the past that I'm like, oh, that's the perfect way of describing something that I don't know how to describe, but that's the perfect spark, whatever that is, that's the perfect spark to write those feelings, write those thoughts into something that I can work with, as opposed to being like, there's this thing in my brain, I don't know how to describe it, I don't know how to write it, I definitely don't know how to sing it.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird, like, kind of like you're panning for gold in a way. A lot of times you're just gonna come up with stones and rocks, and but
right.
Sometimes you'll find gold.
Yeah, and sometimes that gold comes in the form of a bumper sticker.
Sometimes as a bumper sticker, yes.
Yeah. So more on the playing side of things. Mm-hmm. You do have a distinct style in your playing. I noticed from back there. Who would you say are the artists who influence you in that department? Like mainly, do you listen to a lot of your genre, or is it mostly just?
So I guess that's a big question. What do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
What do you think I play? Because I that's a hard question for myself, and that's something I've really been wrestling with. What to you, what do I sound like? I guess that seems like what do I sound like? Tell me. I want to hear all about me. But it's an honest question. Like, I do struggle with kind of trying to describe my music in a way. I kind of settle on like, yeah, it's folk. Some of the stuff is Americana. Some of it's alternative. But really, in the end, it's just songs. So I guess I don't necessarily know. I can talk about some of the artists that I sing or that I listen to a lot. I don't know if you've heard of Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors.
I have not.
That's okay. They're a phenomenal band out of Nashville. They've just put out a record that's absolutely phenomenal. It's been really inspiring to me to be like, you can kind of get out of your comfort zone and write something that wouldn't necessarily be kind of your go-to writing style. So Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. I'll be amiss if I don't mention Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is a huge inspiration on me. Just saying, like, you don't necessarily have to write to any conventional writing style. You can write however you see fit.
That's right.
Some other people may connect to that. Some more people maybe not, but it answers something in you and it inspires you to write more and sing more and perform more, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's the center of it, really. I mean, you really only have to write for yourself. Yeah. If you try and like force something for someone else, it's not going to come out how you want.
Right. That's the only thing you can do is write and perform and sing the songs that speak to you on the inside, and really it's that passion that I think will come through and connect with listeners that will be just as inspirational and moving as if they were listening to some other song or some song that you tried to be popular or you tried to make exactly what people want to hear. It'll be just as moving if you really perform it and write it to the best of you.
Yeah.
So,
and that kind of the individuality of it is why genres are hard to pin down, because there are no real hard and fast categories. It's just people.
Right.
It's just people with the voices that they have.
Right. No, exactly. And it's really kind of a funny, piece of the music industry that I've been really, learning a lot more about recently. There's a lot of people want genres.
Right.
Whether it's the streaming platforms or booking agents or management companies or even other artists, they want to know what you are. Not necessarily who you are, but just what are you? What are you, indie rock? Are you, the next Bruce Springsteen, whatever.
Right.
They want to be able to kind of know what they're getting into, which is, fair enough, I suppose, but I think that it also, from an artist perspective, it does limit you.
It does, yeah.
If you only try to write, one genre.
Yeah, if you limit yourself to genre songs, I mean, not only is it going to make all your songs sound the same, but then, it would lose some of the voice along with it too.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Can't be constrained by genre.
Exactly.
That's also, I've seen the term singer-songwriter used as a genre label. Spotify does that. I'm sure Apple Music does too. It makes me laugh a little bit because that is extremely broad.
Right.
And although I gotta concede that if I were to pin your sound down to a specific genre, it probably would be singer-songwriter. Although other than that,
fair, yeah.
I did get folk from there.
Sure.
Americana, a la Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to describe though. It is your voice,
Well, that is inspiring to me, knowing that my voice and my writing and my style of guitar and all the other things that I'm doing is in and of itself unique enough where, you would notice. That actually is really inspiring to me, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
So now this is the part of the show, my favorite part, and usually the artist's favorite part, where you get to plug all upcoming projects, performances, social media, anything else. If you want to plug anything, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So October 20th, probably by the time this is released, this is already out in the world, so definitely go find it. I did a kind of I pulled a Taylor Swift in a way. All the music that I had written for the band Why Blue, I've re-recorded as a solo artist and kind of revamped those songs. I've rewritten them, returned some of them to their super original form. Some I went a little bit more experimental just to have fun with rewriting some songs that I've performed for years, to just learn more about what those songs are. So I have an album coming out on October 20th called Andy Hanson Sings Why Blue, where I do just that. I sing the songs that I've written for the band. There's one new one on there that it means so incredibly much to me that I was very happy to have it on. I was very happy to put this on this record. It's a song called "Faked Your Own Death" that I had written for a dear friend that I had lost. So I think it made sense to put it on this record. So that's coming out on October 20th, and then I'm starting to record, self-record, self-produce, self-mix and master my debut solo album. A lot of the songs we're hearing tonight are going to be on that record, so that's exciting. And I'll be performing on October 28th at the Banbury Art Market, Art Crawl, not the full art crawl that they have, but they have a different market. I'll be performing there with another local musician, so that'll be a fun time. Social medias are going to be the number one place to find most of my, what I'm doing day to day musically.
Right.
I'm really, Instagram is the one that makes the most sense to me. I haven't really been able to figure out too much like Twitter, and Facebook is just hit or miss with the type of world that Facebook is.
Right.
But Instagram is probably the most potent one for staying up to date with what I have. But all those I'm at Andy Hanson Music. Then I have my website, andyhansonmusic.com. That's another place that's more your traditional, just, there's music, there's shows, there's videos, etc. that people can go find.
Make sure you mark those dates at home, everyone.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much once again for coming on the show. It's been great having you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing here.
As for everyone else at home, don't touch that dial, because right after this, it's back to the music.